Hey guys, this is Meg. Today I wanted to hop on here and chat with you guys about how I went from joining the Miss Universe Japan competition to coming to live in Cambodia. I have gone over this topic in Japanese on my channel before. Also, I'm getting ready to run errands today, so excuse me while I do my makeup. So I've talked about this on my channel when I was doing it all in Japanese before, and so I apologize if you all already know this, but I thought, why not just make a version in English as well, just for simplicity's sake, because who knows, I might just decide to delete all my past videos from my first run at YouTube. Honestly, I'm curious to know how you all found me or started following me, so that would give me a little bit of context. Also, I'm totally doing my makeup out of order. So if you guys watched my video in Japanese, you would know that actually Cambodia came before pageantry. But if we zoomed out of just the realm of pageantry into like modeling or like TV, then yes, that did come first. So to kind of give you like a brief timeline, from ages like 5 to 15, I did modeling in Japan. I was on Playhouse Disney, which was so much fun. They flew us out to California. I was so little, I can't remember, but it was somewhere in California. That was so fun. So I had been doing that kind of work since I was quite little. And then Cambodia entered the picture when I was a junior in high school. So technically, like performing, I guess, that came first. But yeah, obviously I wasn't gonna move to Cambodia as a junior in high school, although I knew I really liked this place. So fast forward 6 years, I think. 6 years later is when I decided, okay, I think now is the time to move to Cambodia. So I went back to Japan on break in October of 2021, and that's when I found out about the Miss Universe Japan competition. I had previously like thought about it, but just kind of as like a joke with my friends, and just kind of saying like, oh, that'd be crazy if someone joined Miss Universe. When I looked at the criteria that time, I was like, yeah, that'd be great. I was definitely at like a turning point with what I was doing in Cambodia anyways, and so I was like, oh, why not? I think what happened was I saw all the girls on stage and I was like, well, I'm not there, so why would I join? But I think the thing that a lot of people don't realize is that you don't start there. You don't start knowing how to walk in, you know, 5 inch, I don't know, very high heels. I get very confused with my metric and the non-metric system. Very high heels. So I realized, oh, they want people who are, you know, working towards a cause and also care about like beauty or public speaking. And I was like, you know what, I think this is me. I just need to get trained a bit, brush up this and that. So yeah, I went for it and I had a great time. It was difficult working in a Japanese environment when a lot of the values that they want are more Western, such as, you know, like speaking your mind, speaking your opinion, being a strong leader. Those are things that are typically not really high value in Japan. And so it was a very unique environment. Also in the fact that like biracial people are not fully accepted in Japan yet. As unfortunate as it is, I think that that is the reality. I definitely got comments during the competition. We are getting more acceptance. Like, we have acceptance in media, but I feel like in the day-to-day, it depends on what kind of environment or community you grew up in, but I would say that we still overall have a long ways to go. And by comments, I mean just, you know, people saying like, just making kind of backhanded comments like, oh, you wouldn't know about these social norms, would you? Or like, did you know you're actually doing this completely wrong? Or just, you know, I mean, it is pageantry, so unfortunately my experience did kind of fall into the stereotype. It did show me a glimpse of that stereotypical like pageant world. So after the competition, I stayed in Japan for about 2 to 3 months, and after that I just packed up my bags again and I was like, let's go back to Cambodia, but this time take a different route. So before, I was also open to or had been wanting to do work in media or in modeling, but I mean, there was COVID, there was all this mess. After the pageant, when I went back to Cambodia, is when I really got into like full-time modeling, content creating, etc. I would say pageantry is a huge thing in Cambodia, and so I'm definitely glad that I was able to have that experience in Japan. So yeah, there's always like a lot of questions about like why did I choose to come to Cambodia after joining kind of a bigger competition? Why didn't I stay in Japan? Why didn't I go to the States? I guess the answer would be that there's kind of this backstory with Cambodia that had been going on prior to the pageant. And I would say the pageant just kind of helped me reshape or like shift my focus on what I'm doing here. And I had been focusing more on other like different fields until then, but I think the pageant really just helped me to like shift my focus into coming back to the field that I originally came from, which I really didn't see happening in the way that it did, but I'm happy for it. I think from the first trip, I already kind of had like my antenna was a little bit up. I was like, oh, what would modeling or like, you know, showbiz look like in Cambodia? But I think back then they didn't even have Miss Universe Cambodia, like ever. That just started like in the last 7 or 8 years, I want to say. It hasn't been 10 years yet. And so there's definitely that timing aspect too, right? So yeah, so that's kind of my story of how I went from the Miss Universe Japan competition to living in Cambodia. I mean, the market is still growing, but I'm excited to see where it's going to go in the next 10 years. And I'm hoping I can be a part of it somehow and shaping that. Life has such an interesting way of taking us from one place to another, and I still do hope to be involved in things and projects abroad like Japan or in the States as well or elsewhere. But for the meantime, it's been really cool to see how like these two strands of like what I grew up doing and loving, and also this country that I love and have like this really big like long history with. It's so interesting to see these two strands come together so that I'm able to do what I love while living here. Of course, it's not without its problems or challenges, but I'm excited to see how things are going to play out in the next year or two. And I hope to bring you guys along. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you guys next time.